Tonight on KGW News, an about-face over the loss of a firefighter.
We all realized that we made a mistake.
As a widow learns her fight in court to collect her husband's benefits finally appears to be over.
To me, the most important thing right now is the future firefighter.
Then it's the jawless fish with rows of sharp teeth. What researchers are now noticing about these slithery creatures in the Columbia. Plus, the quest to find Damian Lillard his new home heats up. Or should we say, heads north. But first,
we have overdose calls dominating our day.
But this one was alarming, even for first responders, as they scrambled to save a toddler who'd overdosed on fentanyl. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko, and we begin with that grim and startling trend with young children overdosing on a drug that can have deadly consequences. In this case, firefighters managed to revive a 15-month-old girl, and tonight they are sharing a critical message. Catherine Cook with our top story.
Portland, 2023, and we're in it pretty deep.
On Friday evening, firefighters waded into new depths. A baby overdosing on fentanyl. Police say it happened in this parking garage off Southeast 28th and Hawthorne. A witness told first responders the 15-month-old girl had spit up a piece of tinfoil before she stopped breathing.
And it was evident that it was fentanyl residue on the tinfoil itself, the aluminum foil.
An off-duty paramedic was first to respond and started CPR. Portland Fire and Rescue took over and soon learned the toddler had ingested fentanyl. That's when they shifted into an overdose response, carefully measuring out a smaller dose of Narcan for the child, saving her life.
After the opioid reversal drug was given, the baby began to respire again, began to breathe on their own. When you're dealing with an infant, you often have bystanders that are screaming and hysterical. It is a tremendously stressful situation.
Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue says medics took the girl to the hospital. They haven't released her condition. Crews found the foil and other drug paraphernalia in her parents' car. The toddler's parents stayed on scene and police say they're cooperating. No arrests have been made, but DHS was notified.
First responders say they don't see a lot of child overdoses, but they're becoming more and more common. The fentanyl pills often look like candy, and children are at growing risk of exposure, whether it's at their home, in the community, or, as in this case, their parents' car.
And this is tragic and unacceptable.
Over the summer, Portland police told us they responded to 3 child overdose calls in the span of 10 days, all related to fentanyl.
Going to those calls where kids have been harmed, it's very impactful.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Neighbor Alex has a baby girl who's also 15 months old. What happened here is hard for him to grasp.
That's pretty gross. I thought it was so gross that you had to be joking almost, but I mean, who would joke about such things?
We have overdose calls dominating our day.
Graves wants parents to understand just how deep the fentanyl crisis runs, and that their children, be it teens, young kids, or even toddlers, need to know they're at risk.
Being honest and recognizing that it is a reality where we are right now, and turning your back on it and ignoring it could be the worst decision as a parent you make while you parent your children.
In Southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We have to keep talking about it there. We've got a change of heart tonight from the city of Salem. Leaders there have agreed to drop their challenge to a firefighter's widow collecting her late husband's workers' comp benefits.
I have directed City Attorney Dan Atchison to withdraw the petition to the Oregon Supreme Court to review the decision.
Well, a crowd of firefighters who signed up to testify against the plan cheered that announcement this evening at the council meeting. A little background here. Firefighter Mo Stadley served the people of Salem as a firefighter for nearly 3 decades. He died from tonsil cancer in 2019 in what was considered a line of duty death. That is because Oregon law states that if firefighters contract a list of occupation-related cancers, it is reasonable to presume it was due to their work. However, the city of Salem consulted medical experts that said Stadley's work did not contribute to him contracting the disease. They say they plan to take that position all the way to Oregon Supreme Court, though after hearing from Stadley's widow, Tina, and many firefighters who worry this case would set a precedent for other families, leaders called that appeal a mistake.
It is very important because, you know, I'm by myself and I can't work. To me, the most important thing right now is the future firefighters.
And I am very sorry for the harm we've caused to Mo's spouse.
The State Worker Compensation Board and Oregon Court of Appeals had already ruled in favor of Stadley's family. Well, this was the moment this evening. The body of an airman killed in what the Air Force is calling a Humvee incident arrived back home in Oregon. Trinity Reinhardt's casket landed at PDX and was escorted down I-5 home to her family in Springfield, where she will be laid to rest. Many gathered outside the funeral home there tonight to pay tribute. 19-year-old Reinhardt was serving at Warren Air Force Base near Cheyenne, Wyoming. Before that, she was at Willamette Leadership Academy. A former classmate says she quickly rose to become one of the highest-ranking women there that was still incredibly kind to others.
She's just a really sweet-hearted, kind person, wanted to see people smile.
And that Humvee crash happened in northeastern Colorado. The Air Force says it is investigating. New at 11, it is a day of reflection you may not have heard of, but for families of homicide victims every year, September 25th is a chance to honor the lives cut short and to remember their loved ones for how they lived. Alma McCarty went to a vigil in Vancouver this evening where families are still grieving an unimaginable loss.
This is a national day of remembrance for murder victims.
In Esther Short Park in Vancouver,
it gives us a place where we feel connected to a group that understands what we're going through. It helps us feel that we're not alone.
Families bonded together by tragedy meet to remember those taken too soon. Brittany Tooney, killed in Kelso, Washington, in 2020, Miche Melendez and her daughter, Layla Stewart, found murdered in Washougal in March 2023. Jamie Dawn Morton, found dead in a home in San Diego this year.
Her killer had kidnapped and raped another person and tried to get that other person to dismember my sister's body. She was able to escape and alert police.
Her sister, Rachel Davis, who lives in Washington, holds up her picture and her memory.
My sister is a person and her name is Jamie. And it's so important to recognize the person and not what happened to her.
Great lady, good soul, loved people, loved her daughter, and she was looking forward to a really bright future.
Brittany Tooney's father, Joseph, continues to fight to get his daughter's story out there. Along with Miche and Layla's family, he asked NW Cave to organize Monday's vigil.
It's meant to be in memory of these incredible young people that were taken from us. They had incredible futures to live, and now we're having to talk about their memories. That's hard.
We celebrated Layla's birthday this week. I can honestly say I've never celebrated a little girl's birthday at a cemetery, so that was really difficult.
As the group takes time to remember these victims, they will also support the survivors living with the unshakable grief.
Kirkland Warren, the suspect in Miche and Layla's murders, will go to trial at the beginning of the new year. He also faces a murder charge out of Arkansas. He'll be prosecuted there at the conclusion of the case in Clark County, Washington. David?
Yes, so many families waiting for some sense of justice, but not waiting, as you said, alone. Thanks so much, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. The man accused of lighting a string of fires around Portland last week has now been found dead. 35-year-old Freddie Paradis Concob allegedly set 11 fires in 4 neighborhoods on Portland's east side. Investigators identified Concob as the suspect on Friday. They put his name out to police to keep an eye out for him. At this point, it is unclear where he was found or how he died. Portland's Transportation Bureau is warning of major impacts if it's forced to follow through with a $32 million budget cut. PBOT is set to present a budget plan at City Council in a work session tomorrow and says it is looking at a funding shortfall that's greater than the last 5 years of budget cuts combined. PBOT says if city leaders don't come up with a solution, they're going to have to eliminate programs and jobs and reduce services. And this rainy, cooler weather is helping firefighters across our region. Crews say that means some of the larger fires have slowed their spread and some are now out. Meanwhile, officials in Multnomah County say they plan to lift the summer burn ban at the end of this week. That means that residents can resume outdoor burning as the risk of starting new wildfires drops. And let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafina now, tracking the blasts of rain moving through. So, Matt, when is the next round coming?
Yeah, you know what? They're coming in waves right now, the rain that is. And certainly great news, as you mentioned, about the wildfire season really taking a big hit and winding down. In Portland right now, it's 59. And yes, we have showers out there. We had a really good blast of some fairly heavy rain. We'll zoom in right now. You can see there's heavy rain down around Stafford and Westland and Canby, just south of I-205. And then rain moving through downtown. That's going to push on out of here within about the next 20 minutes or so. Some more heavy rain out over the coast range. So to answer your question, David, for the next 12 to 24 hours, it'll come in waves of showers like this. The next band of widespread heavier rain will come in tomorrow night, about this time tomorrow night. You can see a Doppler radar, though. It's a couple of lightning strikes off the coast there, too. So there's still a chance of a thunderstorm out at the beaches. The rainfall, though, now topping an inch in McMinnville, Hillsborough, Scappoose. Portland's still trying to zero in on half an inch, but hey, we'll take it. We've had about 2/3 of an inch of rain in downtown Portland. Hourly, if you look at this is for tomorrow night, okay? Not a lot until we get after midnight. Then it really ramps up into Wednesday morning. So again, that's going to be the time where the rain really starts coming down again about 24 hours from now. So showers overnight, showers in the morning. I don't think it'll impact the commute as much as it did today. More rain and wind tomorrow night and into Wednesday. And still looking at some dry time coming our way this weekend, David.
Looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Matt. You're watching KGW News. Straight ahead at 11.